I will start with a poem by Yehuda Amichai. My father was God, but he didn't know it. He gave me the 10 Commandments, not with thunder or fury, with fire or clouds, but softly, with love, with caresses, with kind words. He added, please, please. And he sang the words, keep and remember the Sabbath day. And he cried quietly, don't bear false witness. Don't lie, my love. He'd cry and he'd hug me. Don't steal, Mamala. Don't lust. Don't ever kill. He'd put his hands on my head like the Yom Kippur blessing. Respect, he'd say. Love, love, and live long upon this earth. His voice was as white as the hair on his head. Then he turned his face to me. He turned his face to me like that last day when he died in my arms. And he said, I want to add 2 more commandments to the 10, yes? The 11th, never change, never change. And the 12th, change, oh change. So spoke my father as he disappeared into his strange distances. Well, here we are, my friends, on this sacred night, perched on the shores of a new year, a year in which we know so much must change. So much must change simply to accommodate all the new realities which are breaking like waves, wave after wave on the shores of our consciousness. It seems as if we are waking up every day to the repercussions of old, unaware behaviors, our own and those of those who came before us. I'm talking about the corrosive behaviors resulting from ignorant and misguided attitudes like supremacy and domination, negligence and disregard in our world that have hurt so many for so many generations. And at the same time, many of us are waking up to past attitudes inside of our own selves that must change as well. How we subtly and not so subtly bully or put down or neglect or dishonor those who we disagree with, even those who we love. And internally, inside of ourselves, how we shame and dishonor parts of our own selves that we don't like, that we don't understand, that we don't love. So much must change, outside and in. Yet, there is also that which must never change, never change. Earlier today, I had a profound honor of marrying the governor of Colorado and his beloved of 18 years, both Jewish men who devoutly believe in God and in the Jewish tradition. Don't change anything, they told me. Don't change anything. We want the ancient wedding service just like it's always been. They wanted the Jewish words in Hebrew and English, the same words that would bind their hearts and souls together, that bound their parents and grandparents before them. Could I keep the tradition just so, yet change the words a little as needed to accommodate their love, husband and husband, Yes, I said, of course, I can do that. And just then a question popped up for me. Can we do that in life? Can we do that? Can we identify that which is changeless? Can we hold to that which is our sacred truth and our essence? Can we protect and guard the deepest law of our being? The Torah Emet, we call it, the Torah of truth, that is Natah b'tochenu, that God plants in our souls. Yet, change, oh change that which must go. Namely, the words and the behaviors, the defenses that once worked, that once held our identity in place, that once protected it, but which now are defensive and offensive. Can we change the words and the behaviors that once worked, but which now lock others out of our hearts and lock ourselves out of our own hearts? In the words of Torah that we will read tomorrow morning, we must circumcise our hearts. Circumcise our hearts. That is, peel away the layers that have grown up around our original goodness. Change what must change so we can love and live long upon this earth, we and those who come after us. Well, I would add, we must circumcise our traditions too. We must peel away the barnacles that have grown up around our religions, our traditions, and have grown up around the original goodness of our traditions when they were fresh and immediate and still vibrating with revelation, still vibrating with the God experience. This is the question that I feel life is posing in the new year. Can we change, oh change, fast enough to save ourselves? And at the same time, can we hold steady and firm to the law of our being, to that good and just and loving inner knowing that lies at the core of each and every one of us, to the love that lives in our core? Can we go slowly enough? Can we go slowly enough to discern what we need to protect and water and nourish within ourselves in the year to come? All of this requires gentleness, like the poet's gentle father. Tonight earlier, we invoked our ancestors who are long gone from this world, the wise and caring elders who are steady and watchful of what we are going through here on this earth today. I imagine them, our elders, our ancestors, seeing and loving and blessing us from afar with their hands on our heads on this Yom Kippur night, blessing us from afar for all that is good and unchanging in us, our warmth, our tears, our innermost song and poem, our instinct to help, our undying love for this world. And maybe our ancestors are also helping us release and even say Kaddish for all the parts of us that must change, all that is necrosing before our eyes that we must part with to save our lives, all that drags us down and keeps us stuck in its undertow, our old selves, our old ways of being, our self-interest, our entitlement, our shame, our self-loathing, all that keeps us small, and all that keeps us too big, too comfortable to do what we must do in the year to come. Friends, it's a big year ahead. It's a big year ahead. I'm still fresh from this wedding, from the love and the sheer joy of it. So I'm going to ask you to see yourself right now. See yourself under a chuppah. See yourself under a wedding canopy for just a moment, humor me. And under the wedding canopy, you are marrying your own holiness again, your own sacred self, that part of you that is still fresh and awake and vibrating with the immediacy of God. Can you imagine yourself there? Can you imagine yourself happily smashing the glass underfoot that held your old bitter wine, and then stepping out into a world that's alive, that's ebullient, that's calling to you and to all of us, a world that's on fire. Friends, I want to bless us all and enlist our holy ancestors as well to go forth into this sacred night, into tomorrow, into the year, and beyond, to gracefully let go as we move through so many changes, while we also hold fast to that inner law of our being, that which will never change. K'yantif. And now it's time to go into our evening prayers. In the ancient tradition, Yom Kippur is the one day of the year that we step into the most angelic version of ourselves. We wear white, we take off all our leather products, we rise above our bodily urges, we quiet our animal instincts, all that endlessly grab for our attention. In our angelic nature, we join the invisible realms. We join the legions of subtle beings that all mystical traditions teach are just beyond our physical vision. Rising to the level of the seraphim, the angels, the Davic realms, we sing God's praises. And even the angelic song that Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moses, our teacher, heard when he went up, he made his ascent of soul on Mount Sinai. He heard winged beings singing the most beautiful song, Baruch Shem Kavod. Blessed is the power and the glory of the one, which we normally whisper all year long. On Yom Kippur, we join the angels and we sing it with a roar. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. There's only one power we sing, and that is the power of love. It pours through us as forgiveness. It pours through us as patience. It pours through us as compassion on this sacred day, and it fills us so that we are so full that we can take it for an entire year out into the world. So, I just want to take a moment to press the enter button to all these things, to all these words, and then we'll continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.